Well, hello again. And, well, it's time for our closer now. Annie. So we are very, very thankful that Annie made the trip across the pond to be here with us today. We consider her our godmother, Busna's godmother. She helped us so much as we were developing and growing Busna here in the States. So let me just give you a brief talk about our Annie. So Annie Folkard is the co-founder, director, and trustee of Birdshot Uveitis Society. Annie was diagnosed with birdshot in 2004. She established Birdshot Uveitis Society in 2009 as a patient support group, which a lot of us had benefited from. In 2012, Birdshot Uveitis Society was established as a UK charity. And in the years between 2010 and 2018, she was instrumental in organizing 4 Birdshot Days in London, which I enjoyed 2 of them. So we welcome Annie to the stage, and we thank her for being here today.
Well, thank you very much indeed, and I'm really delighted to be here. Perhaps I'm slightly less delighted to have to speak, but I'll try to do my best. And it's great that Busna has got their organisation so well organised and have put on such a great patient day for everybody. Over the years, I've met quite a lot of you. Some of you in 2008, when I went to the first Birdshot Symposium, that I went to, which Stephen Foster organised, and also at the Birdshot Days that we've organised in London. And Stephen Foster was really inspirational for me personally. And his focus was very much on educating doctors and clinicians, and patients were a side thing at his patient days. But nonetheless, we found it useful, and he was instrumental, I think, for getting immunosuppressive treatments recognised and used, and it's taken quite a long time for it to spread, but fortunately it has. So treatments have changed, I think, largely because there's a patient community that's very vocal, and they want to know more about the condition, and they want to ensure that they get the best treatment and that it won't make them ill. But they also want to maintain good vision so that they can function fully. But also, it's been because doctors have been responsive to these demands, I think, that things have improved, but it's not perfect. So that 2008 date in Boston with Dr. Foster was where I met Rhea Mattox, and she was another birdshot patient from the UK, and we thought after the conference that really we needed to get something started because it seemed to be better in the States to us, and there seemed to be absolutely nothing in the UK. So when we got home from that conference, we started about setting up a website where people could register, and we designed a simple leaflet, and we wrote to all the uveitis consultants that we could find in the UK to ask them how many birdshot patients there were. And I think we found that we got about 180. It was more than people thought, because I think when I was first diagnosed, they said, oh, there's hardly anybody of you, people like you, maybe 25 or something like that. But nobody had a clue, basically, how many people had birdshot. So that was quite interesting. And the doctors that we wrote to were really helpful and responsive. So we got a lot of encouragement from that. So briefly, the Birdshot Uveitis Society acts like a telephone exchange. It connects patients with patients, patients with doctors, doctors with researchers. And a huge communication hub going on. And we've needed to do that because birdshot's so rare. And, you know, until recently, nobody realised there were quite so many patients suffering from it. So one of the things that, I'm not going to talk about Birdshot Days, Dr. Dunn gave a very good description of what the benefits were. But fundraising has been quite important, and the ability to raise money has been crucial to help with for research to be driven forward. And it doesn't have to be a huge amount of money, at least it's a bit. And what we found actually is that once you have a method of raising money, more money follows. So that we started with giving small grants of £15,000 via Fight for Sight. They would pay half, we would pay half, and a small project would be started. But now we've been involved with projects at Moorfields and Birmingham, where larger money has followed and there's a good deal of sponsorship and serious donor money coming in, much the same way as Jennifer was describing has happened in Johns Hopkins. So I have to say, I was so pleased when I heard about the idea that BUSNA was going to be formed, because for us, the problem in the States was something that we weren't really able to tackle. And when you realise exactly what the problems are, which again, we've talked about, is distances and lack of doctors, you've got to have a network of people to get the coverage and to get the community growing. And I'm every confidence that BUSNA is going to be able to do that. Their Zoom meetings that they've held for their gatherings and all the work that they did during COVID times to start to build the community has paid dividends. And here we are at a very, very successful Birdshot Day, which I've thoroughly enjoyed. So thank you very much indeed, ladies, for taking the initiative and getting things going. Our regular source of funding, which basically comes from a birdshot shoot, clay pigeon shoot, which one of our members organises. So Bus actually doesn't have to do anything. His marketing director organises it for us. Brings in 70,000 a year. And we've been doing it for the last 10 years, except for COVID years. So that's, you know, quite a reasonable fundraiser, which doesn't require any work. And, you know, maybe there are people in the audience or BUSNA members who think, oh, I could maybe do that, and bringing money out. You never know. So what it's helped us to do is pay for a person at Birmingham to organise the ABC study. And this is a database and was supposed to also involve the collection of bloods. Now, we didn't find collecting blood quite as easy as you've managed to in the States, which actually sounds completely brilliant, to have a nurse come to the door, collect the blood, and then post it off. That is amazing. So I have to, that's you know, fantastic news, because we've only just solved the problem of how we're going to collect blood, and it's taken about 4 years for that to happen. So some years ago, Regeneron contacted me, and they said, oh, we'd like to, you know, work with you. And so I said, oh, well, can I introduce you to the doctors who you might like to talk to? And eventually, they've come up with some sponsorship, which has enabled Moorfields and Birmingham to work out a way to collect quite large numbers of saliva samples for DNA analysis, and also blood, which will go to the National Institute of Rare Diseases Biobank. And so actually now the objective of getting about 180 samples is going to happen. So it was launched in April, and I was told that, March it was launched, and they got 30 patients signed up for it already. So with the numbers of patients at Moorfields and at Birmingham, they've got every good chance of achieving what's required. And then there's going to be data opportunities for interrogating the database and finding out more about why, the condition. I don't think we really want me to talk for too long, so I'm not going to tell you in detail about the brilliant work that Colin Chu has done. If you go to Colin Chu's laboratory website, you can read about it, and we've also got it on the BUS website. But he's now a Wellcome Trust recipient of money for his research laboratory at Moorfields. He was a Fulbright scholar in the US, working with the top immunologist, and he's a brilliant and very likable chap. So I have every confidence that I'm very supportive of Birdshot, so I have every confidence that his work's going to be really worthwhile following. So the most important thing for me is that when you're diagnosed, you need no longer feel that you're alone. We've now got a Birdshot community across the world. We have local meetups happening from places as far away as New Zealand, South Africa, Canada, the USA, the UK. We've got research moving. More people know about Birdshot. There's information on the condition on many hospital websites. And most importantly, we've now got BUSNA established here to take things forward and building the US Birdshot network and community of patients and researchers, which is already, was really well described by Jennifer earlier on. So together we are working with researchers in lots of ways, supporting their applications, providing the patient voice, and having discussions with researchers at their early stages of research that they are planning. But what we hope is for us to be diagnosed promptly, treated properly, with less toxic, more effective treatments, but don't make us ill, so that there are more options to help save our sight. And so it's very much a partnership between clinicians, scientists, researchers, charities, people with Birdshot, hospitals, and it's important that we all play our part in this journey. So thank you very much indeed, and thanks for coming here to support BUSNA, and I look forward to future conferences and the developments that are going to go forward in the next few years, I hope. That's it.